everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Tuesday's 5-game NBA DFS slate. Well, it looks like we're going into overtime here. Boston and Charlotte. Just another Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, sub 3%, 4%, whatever they are over here. I'm looking on FanDuel right now. Just another game that's going to shoot out there. LaMelo Ball now on the other side kind of was disappointing there. Miles Bridges, the only Charlotte Hornet that's gotten there. But Giannis Antetokounmpo finally going to put up a 60-burger, and Jimmy Butler well on his way to a massive slate-winning upside game. Ryan, how you doing, my dude?
Doing well. We'll see what happens in the slate night hammer. It's a 9-game slate. Lots of news broke throughout the slate, it felt like. We had news with the Jeremy Grant situation, caused me to go into lots and lots and lots of Kelly Olynyk. Hopefully that pays off. He came off to a strong start, but we'll see. I think not having enough of this overtime game might come back to burn me. It's unfortunate on a 9-game slate that's going to happen, but hey, it's going to happen throughout a regular season of NBA DFS.
Yeah, it's going to happen constantly, and I'm looking at Kelly Olynyk. They're down 20 right now. It's 102-82. I'm hoping he gets one more rotation. If you're late swapping, if you're playing the game that we're playing, where I didn't wake up this morning thinking Kelly Olynyk was going to be a part of my lineups, and he's damn near part of every single one of them. So welcome to NBA DFS. Come inside, have a seat. There's coffee and donuts on the side. We'll hang out together. It'll be a nice time. But him, Isaiah Stewart, Mason Plumlee was also a guy who turned into a much, much better play. And of course, J-Val on FanDuel. I mean, I just lock buttoned. Hopefully that can end up paying off. And what will really pay off for you, no doubt about it, is hitting that like button right as we get going, hitting that subscribe button as well. Both of those go a long way for us and for this podcast. We're, of course, sponsored by Yahoo. Can't wait to talk to them or talk to you about their product. It's just magnificent what they're doing over there, and the amount of money they're putting into your pocket on NFL season, especially overlay every single Sunday. But Ryan, we got 5 games. I think we're going to be moving through them pretty quickly. You ready to go, my dude?
Let's ride.
Look at that. All righty. Going to DK. We start there. Most people play over there, but again, you need to play on Yahoo. Steph Curry, $11,000. Big price tag for him. That was the number that we paid for the other night. 58, 65.5, 58.75. I thought he was going to annihilate that slate. He slowed down a little bit towards the end. Davion Mitchell. What was his nickname again?
Oh, the best nickname in the NBA right now. I love it. Yeah, they call him Off Night.
Off Night. Because when you face him, he, whoever it is, has an off night.
Yeah,
wow.
It's fantastic. It's a great nickname.
I mean, it's magnificent, but it's just like...
I mean, in his first week, he's had to face Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, followed by, who else he faced? Donovan Mitchell. And he's kind of giving everyone an off night.
Sounds a little bit like... Do you watch Handmaid's Tale?
No, I don't.
Okay. Everybody's like of Fred or of like whatever the house is. And so it sounds like off night. It's like of whatever. No, it's not. No correlation whatsoever. We continue on. Luka Doncic, 10,900. Russell Westbrook, 9,000. This entire Lakers trio, again, just lower all these price tags. They're unplayable at these numbers when they're just consistently eating up each other's production. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, none of them. And I quote, none of them have had a ceiling game besides one Anthony Davis at 8,800, the first game out of the gate. First game out of the gate, whatever. I don't care. I'm tired. Talk to me about the top end of point guard.
Yeah, so top end of point guard on a 5-game slate. It's going to be a lot of interesting decision points to be made. I mean, you let it off with Steph Curry. I'm always going to have interest in Steph Curry when he's on the slate. He's playing against a very bad Oklahoma City team, 11K, and Steph Curry can be the highest scoring player on the slate. Definitely love that. Luka Doncic also playing against a pretty poor Houston team. It's going to be tough to jam both of those guys in, but I do love both of them as paying up studs. I'm not that interested in Russ Westbrook. He's looked a lot better in the last 2 games compared to that first game out. Donovan Mitchell seems a little too expensive for me at $8,700. I think I like him when he's in the low 8s, high 7s. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander turned things around at $8,100. I think he's now priced appropriately. So other guys just going down the list over there on DraftKings. DeJounte Murray, 7,300. Kevin Porter Jr. at 68. I think I like Porter Jr. at 68 rather than the 7,300 for DeJounte Murray. Jalen Green had a monster game last time out, $6,100. Seems priced appropriately. Derek White's kind of in his little in between both of those guys at $6,500. He's fine. I just think that DraftKings has done a good job in this range of pricing everyone pretty appropriately. Jordan Poole and Tyrese Maxey are now priced appropriately. No one really stands out. I mean, seeing a sub 6K Mike Conley Jr., that's low for Mike Conley, I think. But, the Utah rotations, they do a pretty good job, and Conley's not the lead offensive guy there. I don't mind that price tag, though. How do you feel about Conley Jr. and in the mid to lower tier on DraftKings? Does anyone else stand out to you?
I love it. I love that number on him. Our friend Greg Ehrenberg here at Awesemo.com, super sharp guy. Listen to him for everything DFS, everything futures, everything NFT on DraftKings related. Pretty sharp in all those regards, but I'm looking at 5,700, and all I think about is his saying about historical pricing. The historical pricing of Mike Conley is not 5,700. They had a blowout the first game out, 25 minutes. That's understandable. Utah's going to have a lot of those spots. Then you're looking at this last time out, 31 minutes for him there. It's a much more improved spot there. 3 for 6 from 3, but nothing really in the way of assists, rebounds. He did have 3 stocks in that game, so 3 steals specifically. That's something that he can definitely get some upside with from time to time. But if that shot volume goes up slightly, you're looking at some massive upside on a $5,700 tag for him. It's a 5-game slate. I think that that's definitely something I want to side with. Monty Morris is now down there at 4,400. We'll see kind of how tonight ends up panning out, whether or not people box score that. But he is starting there for that team, and 17.5 doesn't look good. But on these slates where you don't have as much freebie, him and Campazzo, you can kind of look to somebody like that as like a contrarian way to go. If you're going to get 20 plus minutes of anybody, they kind of jump into the frame of being viable underneath 4,500 on DK. I'm going to ask you though, because this guy, is he just dead? Is Kemba Walker done?
No, I don't think so. I think Kemba Walker will have some massive games at the Garden. There's a price tag on the other site. I'm just going to jump right to it. He's $4,800 in a matchup against Philly. I really like that price tag. Look, I think he's just getting acclimated to the new offense, the Thibodeau system. Julius Randle's just the lead dog there, and rightfully so. Julius Randle's earned it, and he's playing amazing so far to start off the season. Like, Julius Randle's going to have off games here and there, and Kemba Walker is going to have some really good games this season. He's a very talented offensive player. He'll figure out his rhythm. It's early in this season. I know it's been a long time since Kemba Walker has burst out. It's been like he didn't play well in the playoffs for Boston. He didn't play well the latter half of the season for Boston last year. So I don't think he's dust. No way. He's too good of a player to be dust that quickly. So Kemba Walker, 4,800. And other guys on FanDuel, I like 6,500 Derek White here. DeJounte Murray, 7,800. It's okay. I don't think that's great. I do like Luka and Steph's price tag here. 10-9, 10-4. Those are pretty cheap FanDuel price tags for those guys, especially I think those guys are great studs to pay up for. Maxey only 5,500. Like, I'd rather spend 4,800 Kemba Walker than a 5,600 Derrick Rose over there in FanDuel. I just think Kemba Walker will have a game. Keep in mind, Kemba is only point guard eligible. And you talk about Monty Morris, he's only 4K on FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid spend down spot. We need to find some spend down options to pay up for some studs. So those are the guys that stand out over there on FanDuel right now. Jordan Clarkson, obviously 6th man of the year, hasn't started off guns blazing like he did last year. I think there'll be a streak where Jordan Clarkson just gets going, and $5,100 against Utah, I think, will be a great tournament option for Jordan Clarkson.
I like that as well. Finishing out on Yahoo, and by the way, our Lord and Savior Kelly Olynyk is up to 40 plus on FanDuel. Let's go. Yahoo, sorry. Point guard Luka Doncic, $52, a little bit hefty there. But again, we know there's upside. Steph Curry, $49. They should flip-flop those price tags going into tomorrow. That would be neat. Russell Westbrook, $43. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, $33. So YouTube chat, hey, I'm saying hi to everybody in YouTube chat from Sunday when I did a show, and everybody was saying Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is done. He's dust. He's terrible. Well, he ended up putting up a pretty nice little outing of 52.2 points on Yahoo, even more on other sites. 29, 6, and 8. You got to remember, he's still pretty good at basketball. This Oklahoma City team is terrible. Getting in an up-tempo spot at home against Golden State mitigates a little bit of the risk of a blowout. $33. I absolutely love playing him over on Yahoo. What sticks out to you on that site?
Yeah, I think that's a great price tag. 33 for SGAs over there. Kevin Porter Jr. Only 26, going a bit lower. Tyrese Maxey 19 is fine, a little too expensive, but There's not any cheap guys that stand out to me right away that are going to be in significant rotation run on Yahoo. So it seems like a spot where to target guys like SGA or spend up for guys like Curry or Doncic. And hopefully there's enough value in the other positions that we're going to talk about.
Alvin Kamara touchdown. Not that anybody cares here. Did you play Showdown?
He's finally actually catching balls. Like
he caught a touchdown pass. I'm just saying it was weird seeing the words catch in the text alert.
He was 8 for 109, I think. Just from what I noticed.
I bet the over on 201 passing yards. We're moving on, though. 201, it was just a freebie. I hope. Fingers crossed. We shall find out. Nothing's free these days. All right, to shooting guard we go. Top end, Donovan Mitchell, 8,700. Tim Hardaway Jr., 6,700. What is that price tag for Tim Hardaway Jr.? I don't quite understand. I will have 0%. Derek White, 6,500. This is kind of an interesting spot for a guy who goes 38.5, 38. Again, another overpay. Evan Fournier at 6,200. We're coming off of 2 games. He had the blowout there against Orlando in Orlando in his homecoming, and then they ended up losing in the Garden for their first loss of the season, and he played so badly. I think there could be a bounce back spot, 6,200. But my guy, Jalen Green, 6,100. I'm telling you right now, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I said that before the show started. I also said the Bulls were going to be the best surprise team in the East or in the NBA in general. That's looking good, but they haven't played anybody. Talk to me about the top end of shooting guard.
Hey, top end of shooting guard, we touched on Donovan Mitchell, 8,700 over there on DraftKings. That's going to be a low and tournament option. Obviously, has ceiling performances in him. He did play well against this Denver team in that bubble playoff run, so keep that in mind. Tim Hardaway Jr., $6,700. Wow, that is quite the number for one of my guys from Michigan. It's just too expensive. I just can't fathom that price tag for Tim Hardaway Jr. Look, $6,700 for him to get there. He needs to knock down 7 or 8 threes. I mean, can he do it? Sure, not as likely. I like spending down to a guy like Derek White instead or Evan Fournier. We talked about Jalen Green. Other guys who like Seth Curry is now priced up to $5,900. He's catching up to his brother, only 5,000 behind. So go figure. That's still quite the jump for Seth Curry at $5,900. Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, $5,900 and $5,800 for those guys. I mean, there's going to be another guy in this Golden State team that's going to pay off fantasy wise against this Oklahoma City team. So a guy like Wiggins or Poole doesn't seem like a terrible option. I know it's not fun rostering Andrew Wiggins right now, but $5,800. I think I'll take my chances of going above the field. In that same price range, Will Barton, $5,700. It seems like a fine option. I mean, look, there's not been a clear-cut number 2 yet behind Jokic. I would like to see Porter Jr. be that guy. There are going to be some nights where it's going to be Will Barton. Just how he plays at times. And $5,700 against a Utah team, I don't mind it. There will be on a back-to-back. They are playing tonight, so keep that in mind. Anyone else stand out to you on DraftKings as we kind of round out this position at shooting guards?
This is kind of similar. We had a 5-game slate on Sunday, but I always find 5-game slates a little bit easier for me to talk myself into guys like Jordan Clarkson at shooting guard, Joe Ingles, Eric Gordon, guys that I would literally never play if it were a 9-game slate. I would never touch one of these guys. It would be maybe one lineup here, one lineup there. It's just so hard for me to see myself getting to that kind of a spot. So I'm feeling a lot better getting to him there. I really don't have anything else there. Why don't we jump over to FanDuel? I'm looking there. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 7,100 again is kind of a phenomenal price tag to get on him. I expect him to be very popular, and I expect myself to not care very much and roster him anyway. Josh Giddey, can you talk to me about him? Because he came off of an eruption game, 19-8-7 with 4 stocks, 49.1 on FanDuel. I don't know what to do with him because I feel like he's going to be popular coming off of that game. Do you see him kind of having that opportunity going forward?
Yeah, I've been significantly way above the field on Josh Giddey in every single game so far. And this is not to expect eruption game like that. I do think that price tag is close to appropriate, but it might be a tad bit underpriced. So yeah, I've been, he's only shooting guard eligible over there on FanDuel, $5,300. I don't mind it, but it's definitely a place where with the price gone up. So $5,300 is okay. But other guys in that price range, I think, if you want to take a shot on Maxey instead, I think $5,500. I'd rather zig off the ownership over there. Clarkson, like we talked about, 5,100.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Hardaway Jr. here, 5K, much more in play. I think I prefer that quite a bit in a matchup versus Houston. 5K for Tim Hardaway Jr. is pretty solid. Joe Ingles did get ejected earlier in the season. He's down to $4,700. So, yeah, it's Ingles. He's not the same type of – he's just playing a different role nowadays with Clarkson there and Mike Conley there on this Utah team. But
hey, Ryan, before you continue on, again, I know people don't like when I interrupt you, but my favorite stat in the entire NBA and maybe in the NBA history, Mike Conley has had a long career in the NBA. How many technical fouls does he have?
I think he has I know that was for the longest time. He might have had 0, but I think he ended up getting 1 at some point.
I thought it was 0. I still believe it's 0. Okay. I'm going to double check while you're talking, but that was always the stat. Mike Conley has never, ever gotten a technical foul in the history of the NBA, which is kind of hard to do because I feel like somebody would get wind of that in the NBA and just like target him and make up something and that he said something or did something wrong. But what a good dude. Easiest dude to cheer for. Continue on.
Yeah, no, that's he's such a nice guy. I mean, it seems like a nice guy, but he did go to Ohio State and he somehow got his first All-Star appearance last year. So
easy.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel
14
about that.
Years in the NBA, never gotten a technical foul.
Yeah, you know, it's okay. I hope someone gives him a text soon. So,
what did he play with Odin, right?
Yeah, he was on that national championship team with Odin, right? Or they won a national championship game.
They lost.
Yeah,
they lost.
They lost to the Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah. Who else was on that team?
I mean, that should tell you Mike Conley. I can't wait to roster this piece of dust tomorrow. That's exciting. I'm literally talking myself into not playing him now that I just looked all of that up.
And we touched on a lot of the point guard, shooting guard eligible players over there on FanDuel up top. I mean, SGA is going to be very popular, but rightfully so. Spending a little bit down. The Dorcher chamber, is that what they call him in Lou Dort now? So Lou Dort,
torture chamber.
Chamber.
Oh my dear God, I hate puns. Continue.
Yeah, that's a new nickname the Thunder Twitter gave him. $4,800. It's Lou Dort. He's not going to be as good as he was last year. Guys like Giddey being there, SGA should be playing more consistently this year. So you would hope. But spending a little bit lower, PJ Dozier is someone who I've been targeting of late. I just think he has a chance to be one of those lead guys off the bench and just hoping for a spiking for an upside game. 5-game slate might be a little too cute. Maybe on one of those night slates might work out, but that's really it on the shooting guard position on FanDuel.
I agree. And on Yahoo, rounding it out, it's the same cats, but Jalen Green is the second most expensive player at $26 behind Donovan Mitchell's $40. I'll probably find my Jalen Green exposure elsewhere. I think that makes sense. This is why you need to be playing 3 different sites. This is why you need to be playing multiple sites so you can get exposure to advantageous prices. You don't have all your eggs in one bucket, but if you have all your eggs in the JVal bucket tonight, just fine with me. Over on FanDuel, just absolutely destroying the slate. But I think it's kind of the same usual suspects. Nice to see Jordan Poole not at $11 or $13. He's up to $16 now. So at least the shooting guard position should have some parity. Going to be very, very fun to play over there. But anything for you, just kind of rounding out the position?
Yeah, looking at other guys in shooting guard, I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. is 18, Jordan Poole 16. Tough to spend all the way down. Usually Yahoo will have like a min-price guy that stands out to you. No one really stands out to me that cheap over there on Yahoo. I mean, you nailed guys like Jalen Green, Will Barton, 19. Derek White, very nice $23 price tag there. So, yeah, that's shooting guard free on a 5-game slate over there on Yahoo. It's crazy how things can change so fast when there's no MPE.
Hey, Ryan, you know what else is crazy? Boom! This promotion we're running with Yahoo. It's 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum with your first-time deposit bonus and a paid contest entry fee. I'm telling you right now, Yahoo is the best place to go play. I know that Ryan's won there recently. I've won there recently. I won an NBA GPP. Yes, I did. That's a real thing that happened. I'm looking forward to playing more over there. It's been really enjoyable. I can't tell you enough how great the contests are. Easy sizing, easy competition, so much softer than the main sites. You need to be checking it out. And the lowest management fees around the industry. Right now, it's 10% management fee. That's 2% less than even some of the NFL stuff. 10% management fee to play in this $10 50K baller with 10K to first. That's a really, really nice payout structure. I'm going to play over there tomorrow. I hope you come join me. And then When you do so, if you're a new user, get that $10. You deposit $10 on there. You play in any contest and you get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Every single thing we offer behind the paywall, completely free to use. Stop guessing, start winning. Join Awesemo Plus today. And also our Curry promotion is now done. So if you haven't signed up for Yahoo, even more incentive, because that is how you get your free month. Okay, we're back. Cool. DraftKings. And again, thank you so much to them for their sponsorship. It is such a cool sponsorship. So lucky to be able to work with them here on the Slate Starter podcast and around the Awesemo network. All right, we got small forward on the top end. On DK, LeBron James, 9,400. Tim Hardaway Jr., 6,700 is there as well. Michael Porter Jr., 6,200. So if you're not playing LeBron, you're basically punting the position by default. I'm looking at your boy Josh Giddey down there at 5,800. Is that doable for you? Small forward only on DraftKings.
So the slate is small enough that where we can potentially do it. I do think that's priced very appropriately over there in DraftKings. As crazy as it might sound, I might rather take my chances on a guy like Will Barton or even Wiggins at that same price point. Both have small forward eligibility. RJ Barrett, $5,600. It's going to come down to ownership, and I think it's going to be easy to pivot off of if potentially Giddey's that popular. So that's how I'm going to approach Giddey. Evan Fournier, a little 6,200. 3-point bonus could work out. Michael Porter Jr., 6,200. Yet again, starting off this game slow. We might get him even at lower ownership after a very disappointing game where he was very popular tonight. I think I'll be for sure taking my chances with Michael Porter Jr. at $6,200. LeBron's LeBron. I think we don't need to explain. We know what his upside can be. Sub 10K LeBron, triple-double upside. Checks off a lot of boxes and potentially might be the lowest owned stud. So take your chances with LeBron James at a tournament. Not a hot take. Spending a little bit lower over there. Bojan Bogdanovic can get hot from the outside. Outside of that, I mean, Iguodala is supposed to return, so kind of mushes the guys like Otto Porter Jr. No one really else that sticks out over there on DraftKings. I mean, PJ Dozier has small forward eligibility, $3,500, but everyone else is fine to like kind of sucks. So no one really stands out. Did I miss anyone on the small forward spot over there on DK?
No, you did not. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It's not ideal whatsoever. They took a block away from Kelly Olynyk. Now he's under 40. He's at 37.2. That game's over. Oh, it's a bummer. Isaiah Stewart smashed, though, too. So good things for both of us on FanDuel. Hard to get to him on DK, I thought, at the center position. But we move on. We continue on. Tobias Harris on FanDuel, 7,400. So you can play him over there at that position. Michael Porter Jr., 6,900. A little bit of an overpay, but $100 down from his 7K tag tonight. Always curious on these back-to-backs if somebody ends up sitting, what the case shall be here coming off of a game today this early in the season, but also Kevin Porter Jr., 5,900 on FanDuel. This dude hates us. He doesn't like us. I have to play him at 5,900. I think a lot of people are going to play him at 5,900 against Dallas. What do you do with Kevin Porter Jr. at this tag?
You play him. I mean, you try to forget about the past, and NBA DFS especially.
But I can't. We can't go back, Rayen. We can't go back.
I wish we could change the past. I wish.
I
mean, but not much is going to happen from dreading about the past in DFS. You got to move on quick, short memory, quick turnarounds.
No, I'd rather just tilt.
Don't be that guy.
You're not that guy.
But I mean, Kevin Porter,
that guy.
Kevin Porter Jr. Is that dude, though. I think he's burning all of us. I think we just go right back to him, and if he burns us again, we do it again. Just because just looking at his median projection outcome. Look, I mean, he ruined a magnificent lineup that I had opening night. It cost me nice first.
Don't say the number, right?
I won't say the number, but yeah,
you'll go into a deep dark depression for the next 10 minutes. We're talking.
Yeah, but Kevin Porter Jr. is definitely in play. It's tough not to love that price tag. I mean, I would like also to spend up for Tobias Harris, $7,400 over there in FanDuel. Porter Jr. is still in play at $6,900. I think you nailed it, though. I mean, those are the guys over there. Small forward is just ugly on both sides. Damn, this is going to be a tough small forward slate. Barring any news, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr., 5K, small forward eligibility. I'm going to have significant interest. That's just how ugly the slate is over there tomorrow on FanDuel with the small forward spot. I mean, I guess this is why they brought back multi-position eligibility there. So
Maybe it's a good thing. Yeah, I'm probably not complaining on a slate like tomorrow. LeBron James on Yahoo, $42. Michael Porter Jr., $26. Very popular and probably rightfully so. Josh Giddey's $20 there. I'm going down to the bottom. It gets so ugly so quick. I mean, I don't see a single player at $10 I would want to play. So everybody's going to have to be paid up there. I mean, I think Josh Giddey, LeBron James might end up chalky just because the rest of the small forward position is so bad. Michael Porter Jr., obviously, $26 for him. I guess RJ Barrett, one guy we haven't touched on here. Do you have any RJ Barrett interest? There's a number of guys there in New York now, and Randall's still the
yeah. I'll definitely have interest in RJ Barrett. Look,
okay.
RJ Barrett game close. He's going to play mid to high 30s minutes. So I don't mind that. I think over there on Yahoo, guys spending down a little bit. I mean, Doug McDermott, $11. Look, the guy's been playing mid to playing 22, 30 minutes. So look, you'll take those minutes at $11. And this Lakers team is not the same defensive Lakers team of the last 2 years. It's much different. So as crazy as it sounds, Doug McDermott at $11, it might be a solid Yahoo play. Am I crazy?
Well, I mean, anytime you can roster somebody that I played basketball with at the Rec at Iowa State, you just got to do it. I'm just saying. Harrison Barnes, Doug McDermott. Also, how cheating is that for a high school basketball team in Ames, Iowa? Like, they didn't have a single game that was close, except for when they went to Iowa City at State. They played that lefty from North Carolina. I know you're going to remember the name. Marcus Page. Wasn't that? Or not Page. Was it Marcus Page? Is that his name?
The one who hit the funky shot in the national championship
Funky
game?
Shot, hit the shot, and then Michael Jordan cried.
Yeah, then what? Because what's his name? Archie Diacono had a perfect play drawn up to.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, it was Marcus Page. I got it right. He's from Iowa.
Yeah,
they played him at State, and that was actually competitive. But not Harrison Barnes. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Sorry, Harrison Barnes and Doug McDermott, same high school basketball team. I mean, just nuts, insanity. All right, to power forward we go. Julius Randle, 9,500. LeBron James, 9,400. Anthony Davis, 9,200. Tobias Harris, 8K. But I wanted to fast forward through those names because we have Kristaps Porzingis, 29 minutes the last two games. First one, not so good. Second one, a lot of good. 4 blocks and a steal. That'll inflate the old box score a little bit. Hasn't even shot the ball well yet. But 7,600, what's your interest against a bad Houston team?
Lots of interest in Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, I think that he's going to turn things around. I mean, he's a talented player. This is now 2 years removed. He'll be now heading into, I guess he hurt that knee in the bubble. It's been like a year and a half since that knee injury. He's had his fair share of injuries. There's no denying that. So maybe he's just getting his fully conditioned and he's back to normal, hopefully. And if that's the case, Porzingis is underpriced at $7,600 versus this Houston team. I definitely like that. If you don't like Porzingis, you can definitely spend up to a guy like Tobias Harris. Our cover boy, Anthony Davis, $9,200. I'll always have interest in Anthony Davis. There's no shock there. Julius Randle has earned every single penny of that $9,500 price tag. He continues to roll, now playing this Philly team. We'll see what the ownership comes in at, but I think I'd be willing to pivot a little bit just because I don't think the way he's performing these first couple games are that sustainable, because if that's the case, he should be like an 11K player. Maybe he is. Maybe this is the next step in Julius Randle's game. I find that hard to believe, but you never know. Carmella Anthony shot the lights out at the Staples on Sunday night, priced up at $5,200. Too expensive for me. I do not think Carmella's going to drop 28 points again. I potentially might not drop 28 points yet again this season. So that's just how the mellow rotation role is over there on the Lakers side of things. Royce O'Neal, $4,900. Aaron Gordon, $4,900. I think I prefer Aaron Gordon to that just because I'd rather take the brand name instead of Royce O'Neal. And that's just how that price tag works out over there. But spending down, we talked about McDermott on Yahoo. He's $4,500 here on DraftKings, just a little cheaper than Thad Young. How do you feel about Thad Young? Is it just not good enough, just not getting enough run burn really to pay out that price tag?
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what it is. I mean, he didn't even play opening night. I had talked about him for a hot second, and people were roasting me. I was like, I would only play him if he was starting. He's only played 9 minutes. He played 9 minutes against Denver on the 22nd, but he was a DNP CD for the opener. He wasn't in the starting lineup. Had a feeling that was probably going to happen, but That's why, again, we're giving you the news here. You got to make some informed decisions based on starting lineups, based on what you know coming into the slate. And one thing I know is that if Thad Young gets in a starting lineup ever, I want to play him. If he doesn't, I don't, because I just can't believe that he's going to see a court in certain situations. It's weird on this Spurs team. I mean, Keldon Johnson's obviously the guy you want to let spread his wings a little bit. 28, 37, 29 minutes for him the first three out. Doug McDermott, a serviceable shooter, and now he's played 30 plus in his last two. Really effective shooting the ball, 7 for 11 from three last time out. I don't expect that to continue, but he's on the floor a lot. So I think he's definitely worth the shots. I'm not going to go Thad Young's direction. I think that kind of does it for me on DK. Anything else for you?
No, I think we should hop on over to FanDuel. I think you nailed it.
Yeah, Anthony Davis on the top end there. LeBron James also power forward eligible. Julius Randle. We didn't kind of go through Julius Randle there. 69.7. He seems like an important talking point considering he's put up 60 plus twice now through 3 games.
That's insane. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. And $9,700 on FanDuel, cheap over there. That is pretty cheap. Yep. So definitely how Randle sticks out. Tobias Harris is $7,400 over there. FanDuel, pretty solid. Porzingis only $7K. Like that
7K is really, really good for Porzingis. And Christian Wood 8,400, Randle 9,700. Finally, a position we like on the top end. This is good. This is good. This is improvement.
About time. Tough to spend down really over there. Those are some great studs. Draymond Green, $6,400. Look, he's bad on conditioning. Depending on how close this Golden State Oklahoma City game stays, he might get a triple-double. Draymond is going to have those games this season. It's just being on top of it before the field is. And I think those minutes should be creeping back up. And I think taking some chances with Draymond Green, especially in a FanDuel scoring for him, where those stocks pay off real fast, and Draymond could definitely pull those off.
Love it. And then Yahoo to round it all out here. Anthony Davis, $45. Julius Randle, $44. Again, we keep saying Julius Randle over and over on all these sites, but he's a fantastic play with lots of upside, even against Philadelphia. Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. I mean, it's not going to be much in the way of resistance. I mean, well, Joel Embiid's a phenomenal defender, but he'll be on Mitchell Robinson most likely, correct? I mean, that's kind of how that works. Oh, individual defense, that's not a thing. We shouldn't look at that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can factor it in, and it's sometimes it's good to look at depending on what type of the situation the game is. And
I will say this then, Joel Embiid, there's definitely more foul trouble issue for Mitchell Robinson here in this spot before we get to the center spot. That's one thing I do kind of look at. Joel Embiid gets in some of these matchups, and even if somebody's advantageously priced, sometimes it's hard to pull the trigger going up against him in that spot because he'll get you in foul trouble. He generally rebounds and does everything well on the defensive end. But again, we don't look at individual matchups. Just wanted to throw that out there considering Mitchell Robinson at center, $17 on Yahoo. We'll talk about him. But rounding out the power forward position over on FanDuel, middle of the road there kind of options. Keldon Johnson, $18. Aaron Gordon, $14. Completely different role than what he had in Orlando. We've seen that now time and time again, but he's still $14 down there. I guess the one guy that I might want to ask you about, Carmella Anthony, coming off of a big game, 28 points, just was knocking down everything there at $10. He got elevated to 12, but do you think people might chase with him?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the casual might, and $12 on Yahoo is not the craziest play. I'd be willing to look elsewhere, but like a $14 Aaron Gordon seems more like I'd rather take some chances there than a chalky Carmelo Anthony. But look, Carmelo's paying mid-20s, and $12 on Yahoo can do a lot when there's studs like Luka, Steph Curry, Julius Randle, LeBron James on there. It's sometimes valuable to get that salary relief and jam in that extra stud.
Last guy to bring up, because we didn't say it before, Andre Iguodala, questionable. In the event that he doesn't play, once again, you fire up Porter. Hey, Porter. Otto Porter Jr. You play a little bit of him. That's all I got.
I agree.
Okay, cool. Let's round it out here. Let's take it home. To the center position we go. Nikolajokic, he seems like a high upside option. Joel Embiid, if he plays, he's questionable. He's been questionable every game. I don't know what to tell you. If he plays, you want to probably play him at under 10K at 9,800. Julius Randle's there. Davis is there. Then you start getting into this next tier of players, and then it drops off a cliff. Christian Wood, Rudy Gobert, and then Jakob Poeltl sitting down there at 36 or at 5,600. That's an advantageous number, as is the guy I brought up, Mitchell Robinson, 5,400, has played 30 plus minutes now, twice, 33 and 34 minutes in 2 of 3 games. I factor the blowout in that second game they had, or the first game against Orlando, but second game of the season for them. I write that one off. So I'm looking at some pretty nice point per dollar factoring in for Mitchell Robinson in this spot. That's why I brought up the Joel Embiid thing. Do you have any concerns whatsoever at that price tag?
No concern.
I didn't think you would.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically, I think we missed out on that double-double the other day. It kind of hurt. I think I'd be willing to go back to Joel Embiid at that price tag. Other guys at the center spot, $9,200, Anthony Davis. We talked about him. Keep in mind, Drummond is questionable, $5,200. Not like I'd play Drummond, just it might sprinkle in an extra minute to Embiid's rotation, potentially just here and there. It's tough to predict how that's going to break down. Rudy Gobert, $8,200 in a matchup versus Jokic. He's going to be on the court quite a bit as long as he stays out of foul trouble. Going to be, I think, low-owned tournament option. Talked about Pirtle, $5,600. I expect Pirtle to extend his game. I'm very bullish on his prospects still. He's still very young, and I think he could be quite the solid NBA player going forward. Other guys in the spending down, no one really spent down. We talked about the opportunity cost on Spencer. Derek Favors has been ruled out. Maybe Isaiah Roby cracks a starting lineup tomorrow, so $3,700. If you want to spend down, that's an option. But keep in mind, you're going to miss out on guys like Jokic, Embiid, Randle, Davis, Christian Wood. We're just rattling off a bunch of studs. I mean, look, it's definitely an option if you want to change up roster construction. And look, studs can have bad days. James Harden started off guns blazing and really cooled off after the first quarter. So that can definitely happen in DFS. So keep that in mind.
Is there anything we can mine out of OKC now that Derek Favors has automatically been ruled out? Because, Darius Baisley, Isaiah Roby, Mike Muscala saw the court the last 2 times out. What do we do here?
I think Roby's really the old beneficiary guy. They have a loaded team. Pokashevsky might get some extra minutes sprinkled in his way, but they're playing a deep roster. They're getting waxed. They're getting clapped. You name it. They're just getting run out of the gym. So you kind of just want to hope the game stays close for our SGA affection. But there's a good chance that Steph Curry might drop 50 in the first half, and then boom, here comes out the bench rotation. That's just how things are going to be at OKC this season, it seems like.
Isaiah Roby is $3,600 on FanDuel tomorrow, and he's probably going to start.
I think he's going to be very popular because of that. So keep that in mind.
I probably have to eject there. I don't know. Even in that start, he only played 14 minutes against Utah, or 9 minutes. It's been ridiculous. I don't know what to really do. And against Golden State, though, you got to be thinking if Derek Favors isn't going to be on the floor, which again, he's already been ruled out. You're going to see some kind of 3-point shooting in Mike Muscala, or Isaiah Roby can play small, and you have Darius Baisley. You have a number of these dudes, Pokashevsky you brought up. Oh, it's just going to be brutal. I don't know what I want to try to take shots with there, but something to explore, something to think about. And again, if Roby starts and he ends up being popular, I'm probably just hitting eject there.
Yeah, my contradiction to that would be we haven't right now. We're looking so far ahead of things. We haven't really mentioned anyone of that strong value sub 4K, and I don't know if Roby will be strong value. He's been pretty bad to start the season, so keep that in mind, guys.
All right. Looking at center on FanDuel, same kind of stuff here. Jakob Poeltl, 6,800 is too expensive. Mitchell Robinson, 6,500. I think I'd prefer both of them over on DK. A little bit more advantageous. Really nothing down there on the bottom end. Figuring out the Dallas center rotation. Have fun now. However, Dwight Powell, sitting there at 4K. He's been the guy starting here. 22.4 last time, 24 minutes. I think you're going to see some of these games where guys get a little bit of extra run and they're maybe serviceable. A 5-game slate might be the time to explore that kind of a build.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with that. 5-game slate small enough where a little mix and match right there with a guy like Dwight Powell could definitely pay off. So no issues whatsoever. So, and remember, FanDuel doesn't have a utility spot. So unlike DraftKings, that really can change up your roster construction and differentiate yourself. And that's pretty good upside with that. So that's a pretty solid call.
All right. Round it out. Give me something over on Yahoo at center. What is your favorite? Well, give me your favorite 2 plays at the center position on Yahoo.
At the center position on
Yahoo.
Because,
God forbid, there's no way you could tell me 2 plays you don't like at the center position. You're going to have exposure to everybody, Ryan. 150 lineups. You can play everybody.
That's so true. That is very, very true. I mean, I can play anyone. I love everyone who's playing on the court today. So you know how that goes.
I love J-Val 50 burger. Let's go.
Oh, that's magnificent.
What a hero.
On Yahoo, I really like the Mitchell Robinson price tag at $17. I think the scoring could definitely work out. And I think taking your chances with a $50. No, I think $52 Nikolajokic isn't too bad. I think he might be a little low on just because he's the most expensive center, and where you can roster two potential centers because there is a utility spot on Yahoo. I like going that direction as well. But Gobert is also a strong price tag at 33. He's kind of on his own island. So don't mind that price tag for those guys.
Don't mind it all either. Oh my God. I think we got it in just under the 40 or right at the 40-minute mark. I can't tell because there's always that minute or two where we start this thing up, but I'm proud of the work that we've done here on this 5-gamer. Really nicely done, my guy. Good options, good talking through of this slate. Any final words for the people on the way out?
No. Thanks so much for yet again tuning in.
Who are we cheering for in the night slate?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at anything really.
Well, you have 20 minutes to get those in here. 10-10 out on the East Coast, 7-10 out here on the West Coast. He's Ryan. He's really, really good at this. I'm Eric. I'm really, really okay at this. We'll see you later.